Hey guys, and welcome to a new reading vlog. It's my favorite vlog to film every month, and that is my reset. So we are going to be leaving April and preparing for the month of May in this vlog. Oh my gosh, I have so much fun doing that. But first, we are going to look at my TBR of the week. So I am making my way through an essay, memoir, collection, weird. I've seen it called so many different things. That's Eve's Hollywood by Eve Babbitt. So this is essentially a memoir, but in the form of essays, all about Eve Babbitt's life in Los Angeles during the mid-century. And I read one of those every day when I wake up. And then my TBR pick that I am currently reading, I'm doing the ebook of. I am reading The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, and this is the original 1925 edition. This is a buddy read with one of my friends, and I should be finishing it up today. I'm at 56%. That bookmark right there is where I am at, so I am sure y'all have heard of that. And then my mood read is a mystery thriller, and that is At First Light by Barbara Nicholas. I started this yesterday. There is a body of a black man found in the Calumet, I'm not sure that's how you say that, river outside of Chicago. The body is left in a very weird way. His limbs are all binded and nailed to like wood, and then there's wood all around the body with runes on it, which are Viking, like in Viking language. I don't know what to call that, like written language. So obviously a very weird way to find a body, and going into unraveling that mystery. And then my ebook, which I should be finishing this week, I don't know if it will be in the vlog, but it will be this week, is A Breath of Snow and Ashes by Diana Gabaldon. This is following one family in the days leading up to the American Revolution. And that's everything that I'm reading today for the reset. I think we're going to work on my bullet journal, and I am filming a wrap up at 3 o'clock. It's currently 1:37, so I will be filming my wrap up, so we will be doing the haul and unhaul kind of thing that I do. And then, yeah, so we're gonna do that, and we're going to work on my bullet journal. You're playful. Does that feel? I definitely meant to charge my camera when I was out earlier, but I just finished The Great Gatsby. I'm making my notes visible on Goodreads if you guys would like to check those out, but we will go into, should I turn on, hold on, let me turn on one of these lights. We can see what this does. Kind of, does that make it better? I don't know. I watch a lot of vlogs and people are like, the lighting sucks. Sorry, I need to hydrate, hold on. So many vlogs I watch, people are like, their lighting sucks, and I'm like, They think their lighting sucks. Mine must be really bad, but nobody's ever complained, so I'm going with it. Yeah, for me, a lot of the times I'm just listening to videos, so I'm not really paying attention. Like, I don't care what the person looks like. I don't care what their background looks like. I care about what you're saying, so I don't pay attention to lighting and that kind of thing. So the audio is important to me because, as I said, I am listening rather than watching the majority of the time. I mean, I do watch as well, but I care more about the audio and what the person is saying rather than the whole aesthetic of it all. But that is way off point. So we're talking about The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, iconic book. So this is a classic, and the words I'm using to describe it are love, writing, and mystery. I'm giving it a 3.25, and this version that I have, so this is the 1925 original edition, but the way with the introduction and all was published in 2001, and I read this from the 26th to the 29th, and as I said, my rating's a 3.25. So let's go into my thoughts. The characters, I just did not feel an emotional connection to any of these people, but I think I randomly had this thought after I finished the book, is it reminds me of like Evelyn Hugo or of a Taylor Jenkins Reid book. I think I have Carrie Soto right there. As in, these characters are like awful people, but that's entertaining to read about. And so they were entertaining, and I loved the mystery, like the buildup of the mystery of who Gatsby was and all of that. I thought that was really good. The atmosphere was a 4. I loved it. New York City, this just adds to, I actually talked to somebody on Reddit about this, or I commented on a Reddit post from like 100 days ago, that New York just has such a vibe to it, such a magical feeling, like there's so much wonder because there's so much you can experience at every turn and all of that, and I think this book does showcase that beautifully. And then the writing was fantastic. I was underlining, I did the ebook, but I was highlighting so many quotes and all of that. So definitely, I'm not unhauling this, even if I gave it a 3.25, because I would love to physically annotate this book one day. And I didn't say this was a reread. I read this like my junior or senior year in high school. And then plot, I'm giving it a 4. I just think how you can go after something for so long and it takes your life away from you. You're not living in the moment, I guess. I randomly just thought of that you can just be so focused on one thing that your life just kind of flies by. And then another thing, there's a song on the soundtrack. I love the soundtrack to the movie. The soundtrack was very like controversial when it came out. I would love to buy a vinyl of it, but they're way too expensive. I'm not about to spend that much money on a vinyl. But the song is Love is Blindness, and I think that perfectly describes the plot of this book, that love can do crazy things. And then intrigue, I gave a 3, which like if I had never seen the movie, which the movie is one of my all-time favorite movies, but if I had never seen the movie, never read this book before, the intrigue could have been higher because the movie had me shook. Like the ending and everything had me shook. So that's just, I think, just going into this experience. And then yeah, it just felt like a 3-star overall, and that's what it ended up being. So this is a good book and I would still recommend it to you. So I need to take pictures for Bookstagram and all that. But also I'm not going to be able to finish my my April TBR this month. I had 3 books left, and that's 1984, The Iliad, and Slump, which is a German classic. I'm not going to be able to finish all those in one day. That would be impossible, and I am going to be out of town tomorrow. I am going to a hockey game. So what is going to happen to these books, because this is my first time this year that I have not finished my TBR in a month. So what we're going to do is take those books and put them in the stack over here, the one with the Lakers book right there. These are books that I want to get to sometime. It'll probably be August, but those are books that I would like to get to soon. So they're just going to go into that stack there. And then on May 1st, I'll start my May TBR, which, where even is that? Okay, it's right there, because I was buying the audiobooks and all of that, and then there was problems with the credit card, which I didn't even know it was under that credit card. So that was fun to deal with, but I do need to get back to seeing like which books I'm going to do ebooks for, which ones I'm going to do physical. Yes, I know I need to get a library card, but that's just, it's a journey going all the way downtown and all of that. I wish they had an online option, because some libraries do have where you can get online, and people have even asked the library, because smaller rural counties, more rural counties have the option, and mine is in a county of 100,000 people. So you would think they would have an online option, and they're like, no, that's not something, that's something we might do in the future, but we don't have that right now. And I'm just like, why? So yes, I will do it one day, but it's gonna be a while, because I just have so much other stuff going on in my life. But as I said, I need to take pictures of this, write my book. I'm gonna write my book review first, and then go take pictures of this for Bookstagram, and then get back to what I was doing. And then the books that I did the wrap up for today, I need to sort those, you know, all of that stuff. Oh no, let's forget to show this. So this bookmark says, I'm a freak between the sheets. Get it? Book of the month. So I am just gonna do a wrap up for y'all. If y'all haven't watched my wrap up, it came out on Tuesday. So we have The Great Gatsby. We are gonna keep that one. The Lost Ticket, I am going to keep. Naomi, I am going to unhaul, so that will go down there. Henry V, I am going to keep. The Party Crasher, I am going to unhaul, even though I love this cover so much, but it was not a good book. The Everlasting, I am going to keep. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass, I am going to keep. Winter of the World, I am going to keep. Dead Mountain, I'm going to keep. This has been my favorite book this year. Of This New World, I am going to unhaul. And then Manhunt, I'm going to keep. I honestly thought I was going to unhaul another book. I thought it was going to be 4 books I was unhauling this month. This is 3. Yeah, so we're unhauling 3 books here. I thought it was going to be more. I don't know why. Maybe I thought I was going to unhaul Henry V, but I'm going to keep that since I have the other Henrys, and it'll just look nice having 3 rather than 2. So I'm going to stamp the ones I'm keeping. Y'all know I do that, and I guess I'll show you all me doing that. That I didn't get to this month: 1984, the Iliad, and Schlump. So they're getting added to that stack that I showed y'all. And then the next book I'm starting is the first book on my May TBR. This is just there for when I film my video. I just know which books go in what video. So this is Nightcrawling by Leila Motley. This was nominated for the Booker Prize, and this is a debut novel. And I remember the writer is younger than I am, and I'm 24, so crazy. And this is... Why am I telling y'all about it now? We'll talk about it when we get to when I start it. And I think I'm doing the audiobook for that one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So I'm so curious which one my friends and a buddy read with me. He never tells me until he gets the book, but I send him a picture of my TBR like a week out so he can have time to order the book on Amazon and all that. And he's like, I will buy 1 or 2 books that are on your TBR and we will buddy read them. So I think he would choose this, but there are some very well-known books. So the theme for May is contemporary and literary fiction. So, oh, and this is the bookmark I'm going to use for that one. I got that. And then I need to see what classic I will start next April. Sorry, I keep thinking it's March. So we're doing all that, and I'm gonna have dinner in 5 minutes. I have no idea what I'm gonna eat. No idea. No clue. Talk about At First Light. I am now at 30% in here. As I said, this is a mystery thriller kind of novel, and it's not really thrilling. Can y'all see me if I sit the camera on my chair? No, but I'm gonna sit it here and just... Yeah, so I wanted to give my thoughts so far. For characters, I like them. They're fine. We have the point of views of, and it's in third person, of Addie, who is a detective in Chicago, and so she is the detective on this case. And then we have Dr. Evan Wilding, who is a forensic semiotician. So he decodes the etchings as Viking Age ruins. So that's his thing, like languages are his gig. I don't know what that semi word means. And, but I do find that side of it extremely fascinating. And that's why I picked up this book. Atmosphere, we are in Chicago, and like, it's like the atmosphere is doing nothing for me. Like, I don't care. It's not playing a huge part in the story. The writing, it's dense. So this is obviously like really informative on runes and bog bodies, because the body was found in a river, and so they think the killer is trying to make it seem like the bog bodies from Europe and ancient times. But so there's a lot of info about that, and seeing these people do their research on that. There was a page where it was like a whole chart of translation, and I was like, I'm not reading all that. So the writing is very dense, but it is informative, but it's a lot to take in at once. And then the plot, again, I do think this is super interesting, of this crime being to two minority groups. The first body they find is a black man, and the second is a Jewish man. So they're like, is this a white supremacy group? Because a lot of people in the Viking, not everybody, obviously, they say the majority are not racist people, but some people interested in Vikings and runes, again, I hope I'm saying that right, tend to be white supremacists because Nordic and all of that. And then swastika was originally a rune, and a lot of Nazis back, who were like heads of people in Hitler's government, were interested in this stuff. So that's like, I find that all fascinating. Of, I want to know why the killer is doing this, who the killer is, but I'm not really like gripped. It's just because the writing is so dense. But everything else, like the plot, I am really intrigued by the plot, and I hit the 100 page mark tonight. I am on page 121, chapter 13, but I won't be picking this up tomorrow because I will be at the game this time tomorrow. The game will probably be ending around this time. So I'm only going to read Outlander tomorrow, and I'm going to read Outlander after my bath that I'm about to take. Guys, it is Tuesday, so we are about to do our next part of the reset by sorting books I've held recently, and then just some books that didn't have room on my shelves. And sorry if I got too close to the microphone there, because I am filming on my phone because I want to save my phone battery since I am, or my camera battery since I'm going to the game tonight. So we're going to sort all the books I hauled this month. We sort them first by genre, and then ones that are less than 400 pages will go in my mood reading stack, and the others that are over 400 pages will eventually make their ways to my TBR carts. They will do that at the end of the quarter. We're at the game. Outfit. Cute. And yeah, it's only started vlogging here, but they're not playing music right now, so I won't get copyrighted, which is great. That is what it looks like. I'm lower than usual. These seats are tighter. Like, there's not as much room, but that's fine. Last game I was like up there, and that was last month.
Listen up. We brought in a specialist to give us the keys to the game today.
Full board. I gotta get on this thing.
You may ignore this because this changes when I read books, like when I finish a book. But I got home late last night, like 1 something, which not fun. So I have a lot of rants. I do think yesterday was my worst experience at PNC Arena, and it's nothing to do with the team or anything like that. Like for the game itself, great game and playoff atmosphere, awesome and all of that. But the guys sitting next to me, so freaking annoying. So there, I know that is my cup holder for a fact. And I showed you how tight these seats are, but the way the seats go, I know that's my cup holder. So I am drinking, and then these guys come and sit while I'm drinking my Pepsi. And the guy puts his beer in the cup holder, and I am like, okay, that's fine, because the seats are so tight, I would literally have to physically like lean over his leg to get my drink out of the cup holder. And I personally don't want to do that, especially with men. I don't like being close to men like that, because I feel like girls, we understand there's a girl code. A guy, especially like single guys there or whatever, no, don't want to do that. So I'm fine just putting it on the floor next to my feet, like that's fine by me. But then those guys leave at the second or the first intermission, and they are not there for the whole second period. So I'm like, okay, they're probably not coming back. So I put my Pepsi back in the cup holder, and literally the guy comes back at the start of the third, takes my Pepsi out of the cup holder, puts it under his seat, and puts his beer in the cup holder. And there, the girl next to him, she didn't have a drink, so like he could have put it in that cup holder. No, he literally took my Pepsi out of the cup holder, my cup holder, and put it under his seat. Like, excuse me? And like, I'm not one to cause a scene or whatever, so I didn't say anything, but it did piss me off. But then in the parking lot, my dad has to get out of there so fast, because I mean, it is a 2-hour drive home. And especially at like 10 o'clock at night, that's late. And he's like over 6 foot, and y'all know I'm like 5'2". And I was wearing these boots, so just for the hill reference, which is fine. But the parking lot at Carter Finlay, we park at Carter Finlay, which is NC State's football stadium. I stepped in like a pothole, and I was like, I broke my ankle. I didn't break an ankle. My ankle's fine now, but it hurt. Like my leg buckled. I didn't fall, but can they like pave the parking lot? I do think they do plan to do that in the off season, but that was so annoying. I'm like, that is not safe at all to have holes in the parking lot. So yeah, and then I got car sick on the way back. because that's another thing. So in Robinson County, which is the like most dangerous county in North Carolina, but I've never had a bad experience there, just to let y'all know that it is. They are doing a lot of construction all over North Carolina and basically all over the South, to be honest with y'all, because there's so many people moving here. So they have to like they're widening the interstate there and then doing a new bridge, which is great because infrastructure in the South sucks. So to see them actually doing something about it and improving that, thumbs up for me. So they were delivering parts for the bridge. We had to be behind a cop car for miles and miles. Let me show y'all. Actually, I took a picture of where this congestion is on I-95. So on the interstate going 6 miles per hour, like why could the cop not go faster? I don't understand. And so what usually would take not as long. So this amount from St. Paul's basically to Lumberton. Yeah, going miles and miles, only at 6 miles per hour. And that's when I got really nauseous because it was just like stop and go, stop and go, stop and go. And I was like, yeah, we're not doing that. So, but I did good at holding it until we got to Buc-ee's and then I threw up. So that, yeah, it was an experience, but I feel great now. I wanted to vent and tell y'all, like, have etiquette in your seats, and PNC and Carter Finley, NC State, pave your parking lot. But I did need to add more books to my mood reading stack over here. So I did want to show y'all my new mood reading picks because I read 5 last month, so we had to add 5 more to the stack. First we have Where the Line Bleeds by Jesmyn Ward. She actually did the introduction for the Great Gatsby, and I was not expecting that at all because usually introductions are by people I've never heard of. But she's an author that I am so intrigued by her book, so I can't wait to pick this one up. I think this is more of like a contemporary fiction. So this is A Timeless Southern Fable, a brotherly love and familiar conflict, which I love those themes. Then the next one is a book that I bought my grandmother for Christmas, Christmas a few years ago. And she read it, 2022, and was like, you need to read this. So this is The Lindbergh Nanny by Mariah Frederick. So this is about the nanny of the Lindbergh child who was kidnapped back in like the 30s. So The Lindbergh Nanny is a powerful, propulsive novel about America's most notorious kidnapping as seen through the eyes of the woman who found herself at the heart of this deadly crime. Next we have Songs in Ursa Major. This is one that gets compared to Daisy Jones, like so many books, and I just realized I tore it, but that's fine. So this is in 1969. So shot through with the lyrics, the icons, the lore, and the adrenaline of the early 70s music scene, Songs in Ursa Major pulses with romantic longing and asks the question so many female artists must face. What are we willing to sacrifice for our dreams? So her dog is named Freddie, or the author's dog's name is Freddie Mercury. I say Fred's named after Freddie Mercury, but I wasn't the one to name him, the animal shelter did. So 2 more. Then this book my friend Sarah got me for Christmas. Was it 2022 as well? Oh, birthday, my bad. This I think is kind of a horror science fiction, and this is Echo by Thomas Ode Hoffault. I think he's Dutch, so my bad on pronunciation. So this is a thrilling descent into madness and obsession as one man confronts nature and something even more ancient and evil answers back. That's like the kind of horror and stuff that I love. And then lastly, we have a book my grandma got me that is the first edition of Diana, Her True Story by Andrew Morton. So beautiful. These are fantastic pictures. I mean, it's Princess Diana. So this is when, for the first time, here's the true story of Princess Diana, complete with revelations that will shock the world. So if you watch The Crown, there's a whole episode about the making of this book. It was published in 1992. Oh my gosh, that picture is so good. So those are the books that are getting added to my mood reading stack. And then I will be starting Nightcrawling at 3, which is in an hour. It's 1:58 right now. And I'm sorry for the almost 9-minute clip here. I did start Nightcrawling. I am annotating my books this month. So we have quite a few already, and that is sometimes a good thing, sometimes a bad thing, but right now it's a good thing. So I'm going to tell y'all what this book is about. So Kiara and her brother Marcus are scraping by in an East Oakland apartment complex, optimistically called the Regal High. Both have dropped out of high school, their family fractured by death in prison, but while Marcus clings to his dream of rap stardom, Kiara hunts for work to pay their rent, which has more than doubled, and to keep the 9-year-old boy next door abandoned by his mother safe and fed. One night, what begins as a drunken misunderstanding with a stranger turns into the job Kiara never imagined wanting but now desperately needs, Nightcrawling. Her world breaks open even further when her name surfaces in an investigation that exposes her as a key witness in a massive scandal within the Oakland Police Department. So that is the book that I started today, and I'm following along with the audiobook. I am going to go to Barnes & Noble and Target today. So at Barnes & Noble, I can only buy 3 books today since I only read 11 books last month. And then I'm not going to buy a book at Target since I'm already going to be buying 3 at Barnes & Noble. I don't want to just buy everything today and then not be able to buy that many books later in the month, because I don't have any plans for May so far, so I have no idea if I'm going to go to an indie bookstore, used bookstore, or what. So I don't want to, you know, like, I like to ration it out. I did get interrupted though when I was talking about Nightcrawling, but this one was nominated for the Booker Prize, I think in 2022. It was published in 2022. I don't remember if that's when the books get nominated, the year they're published, or if it's like the year after. But I do know I found out about this book because it was nominated for the Booker Prize, and then I think some YouTube channels or booktube channels I watched at the time were talking about it. But again, that was 2 years ago, so I don't really remember that like much. But yeah, definitely read the description before going into the book, because I didn't do that. I just went right into it, and I was kind of like, I was making notes. I was like, okay, these people are siblings. I didn't know that the apartment building was the thing called Regal High, because they were saying things in reference to Regal High, and I was like, is that like a movie theater? Because like Regal Cinemas, I was like, what's that? So definitely read the description beforehand. I did it after the first chapter, so that's so yeah, but I'm reading like 30 pages in a sitting. I want to read 90 pages today, and that's how much I would have to read in a day to finish the book in 3 days. Again, I'm doing the audiobook, and this audiobook narrator has done a lot of popular books. I thought she was the one who did Ailey on the Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois, which is my favorite book, but it's not the same. But they sound very similar, because I was like, oh my gosh, what if it's the same one? But it's not. So as I said, I am going to head out to Barnes & Noble and Target. I will be recording on my phone, because I know Barnes & Noble can be like picky about filming in store with cameras. Mine has never said anything. I messaged them asking. I'm like, I know some stores have protocols where you're not allowed to film. Do y'all allow it? And nobody ever got back to me, so I film on my phone because that's not as obvious as a camera. And then Target's another store reached out. I was like, hey, am I allowed to vlog in your store? And they're like, yes, do it, tag us, everything. Like, Target was really happy about it, so shout out to Target. Quarter of the way into the book update. Nightcrawling is giving me that gut punch I want when I read. It's giving me those emotions I want to feel when I read, because I read so many books that I'm just like, yeah, this is happening. This is a gut punch. I'm feeling all the emotions reading this. This was nominated for the Booker Prize. I don't remember if I said that. I think I did, but so far, every book I've read nominated for that prize is amazing. So we're gonna go through all my tabs. I only read like 91 pages, 91 or 92 pages, I don't remember, but 3 hours of the audiobook. And we have quite a few tabs to go through. And my friend, I think I've told you before, I sent him the list of all the books that I'm reading, my TBR every month. And will buddy read some of them. And he said his mom had this book, but this wasn't one that he bought to buddy read with me. But after hearing me talk about it today, he's going to borrow it from his mom. So I'm like, please do. So our first stop literally happened on like the 3rd page of like actual text, which is page 5 up there. But I was like, beautiful prose. How is this a debut? I do not know, but the prose is beautiful. And yeah, when I went out to read at 3, it started pouring down rain on me, so I did get some water damage, but I knew I was keeping this book anyway, so I was like, that's not gonna bother me. Like, the amount that I got is not gonna bother me and didn't really do any real damage. And then the next page, I loved this paragraph here. It's, High Street is an illusion, a cigarette butts and liquor stores, a winding trail to and from drugstores, and adult playgrounds masquerading as street corners. It has a childlike kind of flair, like the perfect landscape for a scavenger hunt. Nobody ever knows when the hoods switch over, all the way up to the bridge, but I've never been up there, so I can't tell you if it makes you want to skip like it does on our side. It is everything and nothing you'd expect, with its funeral homes and gas stations, the streets sprinkled in houses, with yellow shining out the windows. I just thought that was beautifully written, great for the atmosphere. And then this was just a note. So I was like, Marcus and Kiara are siblings, and Trevor is the son of Dee, and Dee is the neighbor. So just wanted to keep all those. But now at this point, that was 11 pages in. Now I think the characters are different enough so you can have an understanding of who they are. So let's see, who do we have next? We have a green, or no, we have a orange tab. I was like, she is sick and tired of picking up everybody else's weight and is like, I'm just gonna do my thing. Because at the end of the day, it is you who you have to worry about. Yes, you have family and all of that, but you have to worry about yourself. And then this one, the character dynamics between Marcus and Kiara are really good, and they're going to be fun to uncover throughout the novel. And then we have some writing tabs. This one, that blood is everything. I think we're all out here unlearning that sentiment, scrapping our knees and asking strangers to patch us back up. And oh my gosh, that's so true. I think about, especially with the invention of the internet, it's so easy just to put everything out there. And then this one is funny how the playground follows us, to saying how you have like your popular kids in school and they go on to be successful in the real world and all that. Yeah, so true. And then this one I loved. So there was a whole little paragraph here, but it's sort of, so it's like how the bartender is like every other bartender she's seen. It's sort of comforting how predictable downtown is, how it's changing in the kind of ways that only propel more of the same. And then we have an orange tab. So she's talking about their friend who I am blanking on, Lacey. So she's looking like she owns the strip club that she's a bartender at. Like she doesn't need no light to see, and Marcus still out here waiting like something's gonna change. And I thought that was really thought-provoking, because I'm the Marcus and that I am a dreamer. So I think there's something that everybody can relate to in this book with all of the characters. But and so we're seeing how Marcus, he took a lot on. I think I told y'all about how they were kind of abandoned, and at first Marcus, yeah, he's 18, and so he's doing everything he can to keep his sister in his care rather than her going into the system. And so it's now he's branching away from that. He's wanting to be a rapper and wanting to do things for himself. And as I was talking about earlier, we have Kiara, who is also wanting to do that, but totally different routes and reasons. Then we have a plot tab that this is so true for how so many people in this country live, and how gritty it really is out there, and how there's not really an American dream. There is a dream, but it's not achievable. And we have an orange tab, which is just general ideas. Yeah, there's a lot of ocean references. I don't know if that's gonna play a part later on. Earthquakes is another one, but since we are in Oakland, like California has earthquakes, So I'm wondering what this, or not just oceans in general, there's a pool at their apartment complex. So there's a lot of water references. So I'm curious where that's going to go, if it's going to go anywhere. It could just be, you know, how she's writing it. And then there was this whole section about her parents, like their backstory, how they met, how they fell in love. And I loved that section. It was so good. Then the main theme here is survivalism, and the mom kind of talks about that. And then this one, this is a writing tab. That was before I learned that life won't give you reasons for none of it. That's true, life just happens. And then my last tab here, or no, not my last tab, my second to last tab, sorry, is memory is really just things we trust to be ours. And like, oh my gosh, because there's so many, you get rid of the bad stuff, and so, but your memory is really just what happened to you. And now I'm like, is there a theme of sometimes you just have to look out for yourself? You have to be selfish, because that's how you survive in this world. And then my last tab is, well, I had one that said jaw dropping, yeah, so I had 2 more tabs. That I thought I put one, okay, yeah, it's all the way down here. These yellow tabs are kind of hard to see with the pages. I might have to, because these are deckled edges, so I might need to move the tabs a little bit. My jaw dropped at one of the scenes or revelations, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And then, yeah, that chapter, I think it was, what was it, chapter 7 or 8, but the last one before, the last one I read today, is that chapter provided us with so much to think about with where the story's gonna go. We got so many answers to questions, and so many more questions, and so many more theories of where this story could be going, who these people are. This is just really, really good Nightcrawling. I did go to Barnes & Noble. I'm not going to go in depth about what I bought. I did get a puzzle that's not in here. So I accidentally bought the second book in the Shogun duology. I thought this was the first. The covers are very similar. So, and there's no paperback of the first book in this edition. Only a hardback. So they're not going to match. I went ahead and bought it on Amazon. I'm just going to let it cancel it out. So it's just, yeah, because y'all know I'm only allowed to buy 11 books this month. Then I got a fantasy that is a retelling of Beowulf from the perspective of the women, and that is Shield Maiden by Sharon Emirates. Emirates, like the country. And then my last one is a nature book, nonfiction book, that is The High Sierra, a love story by Kim Stanley Robinson. So that's what I got at Barnes & Noble. It's time to talk about Nightcrawling. It's Thursday. I don't think I've vlogged today. I have filmed ASMR videos, so that's why it's kind of confusing. I'm like, I know I filmed today, but I don't know everything I filmed. But oh my gosh, I'm wearing orange and our book is orange. But I got to 65%, so I want to go into all of my thoughts for the day. So let's see, where did I stop yesterday? It was like 90 something. Oh, okay, so some of these are like theory based, so I'm not going to say my theories or whatever because spoilers. But the first chapter I read today, starting on page 92, was very poetic, like very dark stuff happening, but the way it was written was very poetic. Because I wouldn't say this whole book is poetic, but that chapter was. The prose throughout the whole book is beautiful. Let's see what other tabs I have. I think I told y'all yesterday that this book has deckled edges, so it's kind of hard to find my tabs. So then this one, the name of the book got mentioned, and when that happens I always highlight that when it gets mentioned for the first time. So then this one, I think this is a main theme of the book here. So we're only trying to own men we don't got no control of. I'm tired of it. Tired of having to be out here thinking about all these people, all these things to keep me alive, keep them alive. And then it goes on, but that, I thought that was just a theme in the book. And you know, and I just, at page 121, I am really feeling for our main character here, for Kiara. Yeah, I don't want to say why because spoilers. Then here's a quote. Really a lot of this page was just really good. This is page 124. But this is one that I really liked. So we're all wanting something though. Most of us are replacing what we really want with skin, which works until you wake up and the mirror is a blur of time twisting around the throat. So Penny just opened the door. There's a hockey game on in the other room. So if you hear that, that's what that is. And we have a tab down here. So that was a theory. Then another theory. So we're theorizing a lot. And then this one, this little, just 2 paragraphs. He leaves me on my own. It's such a relief to be alone. The way my arms feel free and this patio doesn't feel so alien because the sky's been my friend for as long as I can remember. Spread out big. I think whatever is upward is only comforting when it's dark enough to imagine that there is a beyond. Most days I say I don't believe in nothing except something about the way the night colors everything makes me want to. Not an afterlife, heaven, or any of that shit. That just makes us feel better about dying. I don't really got nothing to fear about dying in the first place. I just think that the stars might line up and trail into another world. And then it goes on. But those were the 2 paragraphs. And then, yes, so this part of the book has gotten repetitive and that has made me a little bored because we're so in party scene after party scene. And I'm like, this one, that party scene and that chapter, I feel like was really important for the plot. But I just got bored after a while of scenes like that. This third of the book, the second third, I don't know if that's like the proper word to use or how to say that, but the second third of the book definitely was a lot slower than the first third of the book. So there's that. I'm going to go eat a little bit, watch the game, and it's really hot here today. It got to 89 and I'm having acid reflux, which isn't fun. I am going to be ending the vlog here. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you made it all the way through, leave a flower emoji in the comments below. And as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. And don't forget to ring that notification bell to be notified when all my videos go live. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.